Well, I don't know, for you now, was it the movie, or was it just a love of cars? Like, how did you kind of decide?
Cars.
Right.
It was purely cars.
No.
Because it's an Irish assembled, an Irish made car.
Right.
And to get it, like, I wanted one, and I wanted to wait till it was 30 years old.
Right.
And when it got 30 years old, I said I wanted one.
There aren't many people who've sat in these things. When you think about, we were just talking about it, in 1981, 83, there's John Zachary DeLorean. He decides to make these cars for the American market up in Belfast. Only 8,853 were made. And then we end up with, oh, we have somebody going by the Beetle now. We better make sure no scratches. I was blabbing on there, but the fact that there's only 8,853 originally, and when DeLorean died in March 2005, there was about they said about 5,000 or 6,000 left, and now you reckon probably even half that, you know, maybe 3,000 or
3,000 to 4,000
right
left. That's about it.
So I suppose the big question is, how the hell did you end up with one of them? Because it was America that actually they were exported to.
I got it out of Northern Ireland.
Right.
There was a guy who had it for sale in the north, and I wanted one. And I had a Rolls Royce here that I didn't like.
Ah.
And we did a tangle on it. And I ended up with the DeLorean, and he ended up with the Rolls Royce.
Right.
And that's how it happened.
And now you say that it was a passion for cars. I'm sure, you know, for Joe and Joanna Sixpack, it's the Back to the Future car. I'm sure
absolutely.
Part of the appeal is a bit, you know, like just having any kind of, like Herbie had the kind of effect on the Beetle, and that movie was really the poster for many people of what this car was. And so I'm guessing it must have been, I don't know, if you get stopped by Back to the Future fans, or just people would always...
Oh, everybody recognised.
Yeah.
We had it in Scotland last week, 3 weeks ago.
Right.
And you can see people on the street. Oh.
I think if we put Elvis inside this and drove, we would actually go back into time. We would break the space-time continuum.
I think so.
Is it a car that's easy to maintain and drive? I mean, they are supposedly well made. I don't know if they're
quite well made, believe it or not.
Right.
When they were made in the north originally, there wasn't a panel fitted correctly. Well, what they did was they took people off the dole and brought them into the factories.
Right.
And they assembled them.
Okay.
And like the quality control wasn't exactly what you'd call wonderful.
No, I know there was a slump in America, unfortunately, at the time of their release in 81, 83. There was just a bad slump in the car market. But is there also possible that DeLorean kind of created his own sort of destiny by not paying attention to such things? Maybe,
but there was a long delay on the car originally, you see.
Ah.
And a lot of different factors came into it as to why the car wasn't built earlier.
Right,
had the car been built earlier, and had there not been, the hunger strikes held it back as well for months and months.
Right.
And things like that. And because the people couldn't go to they wouldn't let the people go into work in the factories.
Right.
In the north, there was a general strike, so the car got held up on that as well.
Over the last few decades, has there ever been like a move to maybe start production again? Was there ever a sort of feeling that, well, there is a market? I mean, this is a luxury car, and it might. And
they're talking about making them electric in the States now.
Ah, of course. Well, that makes sense, really, when you think about the look and the feel of it, and that is part of the future, isn't it? So.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the way it's going to go.
Yeah. Well, I know there's a guy in Enniskerry converting old classic cars.
That's correct.
I think it costs about 2.6 million to do a car into, but worth it.
Yeah. Well, if you have that kind of money, it's
So I don't know when you first got the car and you took it out. I don't know whether it was immediately roadworthy. Can you remember how it felt like to be driving something that I'm sure you'd been looking forward to for quite a while?
When I got it first, there was a brake problem on it and bits and pieces, so
I
did all the brakes on it. There was an accumulator on the fuel system which was leaking back, so when it started up, it'll start up from cold, no problem, but when it got hot, it wouldn't start. And put a new fuel accumulator onto it. That's solid. And
this is all stuff you know yourself, which is great, obviously. If you can, rather than having to go to somebody and pay through the nose every single time there's a cough.
The week before we went to Scotland in it, we had a problem with the fuel pump, the shroud that the fuel pump sits into. I went down to the local garage and filled it up with petrol, and it started coming out underneath. That's
when you throw the lighter out the window. Then you got the real Back to the Future look about it down that street.
And then I brought it up home here and stripped it and had a look at it. That was on the Saturday. We were going on the Thursday. So I said, where am I going to get one of these? But I emailed a company in Holland,
Wow.
which I've got other bits from.
Yeah.
Explained the urgency.
And do they custom build? Is that the idea, or they actually
carry all stock for it?
Right, brilliant.
And I had it here Tuesday afternoon.
Wow, wow, that's amazing.
So I had it fitted Tuesday evening and back on the road.
Now there is that feeling too that you know, it is such a iconic car. I don't know if you've ever sort of had a few drinks and thought, you know what, I'm going to see if this works here. I'm going to go down. I'll just clear the road.
No, thank you. No.
It is something that as I said, the huge, like, you know, 99% of the population would not have been this close to one, and certainly never driven one. So that must feel even more and more as years go by. It's a little bit more rarer, and it's a little bit more kind of special.
It is indeed.
And would there be many others in Ireland? Because there would have been a homecoming,
sure
maybe.
I'm not sure of the exact amount, but I know
right.
We were up in the north and at back to the factory.
Right.
2 years ago.
Nice.
And there was about 16 or 17 of them.
That's great. Yeah, there will be a sense, even though obviously it was for the American market, there is that Irish connection. People almost feel it's a patriotic thing to have one, because it sort of represents a wild dream, really, on the case of a young DeLorean. And do you think he was a genius, a madman, a bit of both?
He was a genius, all right.
Right.
Definitely a genius. Like what he did in General Motors, even before he came to building this. He had a great reputation. Yeah, what he was doing,
and it must have been, I'm sure, just not only for him, obviously, but for those who just love the idea of such a car existing. It must have been such a crushing kind of, you know, reality when it didn't, you know, kind of establish itself beyond those initial 2 years and that initial production. It was a very sad kind of occasion, really.
I think that the idea was to carry on with it, but then there was a supposedly drug problem, which materialised that it never was. Okay.
With young DeLorean or with the cars?
No, with DeLorean himself.
Oh, right, okay. I just thought maybe it's a favourite among smugglers. It does have a lot of speed in it.
I think it was concocted between different governments and stuff.
Okay, like a bit of a... Yeah,
he was looking for more money off Margaret Thatcher and he wasn't getting it.
Wow. Isn't it amazing how, you know, and it is, I guess it's true of everything in this world, that as much as we say the product or the work is important, but the artist or the creator, they go up or down with the product. You know, you can kill an idea just by slurring or you know.
But I think that's generally what happened.
That's a shame. Well, I'm sure he'd be very, very happy to know that there's a guy up in Kilpeddar who's got one in perfect condition, really. Is she hard to maintain, or he, I should say, or it, or
not that hard to maintain.
Great. And it's just amazing to see it in such in great shape. Did it take long to you know, was it body as good as this, or was that another?
Body was perfect.
That's great. Oh, that's fantastic. It must be
when anybody puts their fingers on it, it's stainless steel.
Ah, wow.
You can see the finger marks.
Right. Wow.
You know, so
Teflon.
Yeah,
you can fry your eggs in that now when the sun comes out this summer, and you'll be fine.
Bit of Mr. Sheen.
Well done, man. It's such a beautiful car, and I think it's great to know that there's one around here. And I know that we do screenings down on the beach. So when we finally get around to, you know what, this is bad memory. I think we did maybe Back to the Future, but I think we could do another edition of that, just to get you out and about, because it is such a great car.
Oh yeah.
And great for pulling the ladies and all that, right?
Oh yeah.